I am not your emotional container. I am not here to absorb the weight of what you haven't dealt with. And I'm definitely not here to tiptoe around someone else's mood just to keep the peace. So today we're going to talk about what happened the other day, a couple of months ago, in my apartment that I was in Mallorca. In this apartment, I had 3 other roommates. And there was one roommate that was very, very passive aggressive, always slamming the door in the wee hours of the morning when everybody else is asleep, leaving messes around the house. It was a hot mess, okay? But one day I was under my hair dryer and it was like midday. So not early, it wasn't late. It was probably like 3 p.m. on a Sunday, okay? And suddenly there's like a loud, like, bam, like the door slamming. And again and again, this person did this for at least 4 times in a row. This is what they usually do. It's their pattern. And it's supposed to be like a signal to me and the others that the person slamming the door isn't happy with something. And so I'm guessing that was just a sign to me to say, I'm not happy that you're using the hairdryer. But I was using a hairdryer for no more than an hour, okay? It's hot. It was like summertime. I didn't even want to use it to begin with, but the style that I was doing, the natural girls, if you know, like the flexi rods, you got to be under a dryer. It is what it is, But I made sure to be considerate and not do it early morning, not do it late at night, but do it in a time that, everybody should be cool with. And also, this person makes noise all day and now has a problem when I take up space for an hour, but okay. And in that moment, I felt my heart was like pounding. Oh my gosh, it was pounding. And not because I was scared, but because I was really just tired. When you keep dealing with somebody else's passive aggressiveness, just won't communicate, won't say that, hey, this is what's going on. And I just got tired of being expected to carry that discomfort that the other person's not dealing with. So now I gotta either turn off my dryer or know that there's going to be slams throughout the entire hour that I'm using it. And you guys have to think about it. I'm under a dryer. So we know those can be a bit loud and it's covering my ears. The fact that I'm able to hear a slam clearly lets you know exactly how loud the slams were, okay? Like, I don't understand. And you know what? I will say I probably was a little bit scared because I do like peace and quiet in my home. So sudden noises are not really a favorite of mine, and getting attuned to that person's mood is very hard to do because it's very sporadic. And really, I had to realize that door slam and the many others wasn't really about the dryer, but it was about them, not liking me, not liking that I won't shrink to fit their expectations, which would have been silence on their terms only, because they're allowed to have friends come over throughout all hours of the night and be loud and not considerate. But let me have a moment, which I feel like I was being semi-considerate because I was doing it in like early midday, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. No. Speak up. Let me know that you're upset like I do, and I'll let you know that you need to turn your music down or whatever it is, and then we can discuss what's our next best move. But this experience and what I've really been learning in life is that you are not responsible for someone else's emotional projections. Like, if someone refuses to communicate and then chooses to be hostile, passive-aggressive, and lets their anger spill out on everyone nearby, that is not yours to manage. And this is especially for women because we are taught to be agreeable and to keep the peace and to make sure everybody's moods is attended to, that we leave little time for attending to our own moods and our own feelings and getting to know ourselves and our desires. We can't keep doing that. That's why a lot of times you see a lot of health issues later on in a woman's life, because of bottling up their emotions and sacrificing so much that they never take time to tend to themselves. So for me, I've made it my journey to not be responsible for anyone else's emotional negative projections, okay? And even the positive ones, you have to also kind of make sure you you have to make sure that you're tuning into what you and your creator is saying and creating for yourself. So yes, it's good to have compliments, but in order to make sure that any critiques or anybody's negative projections or passive aggressiveness doesn't affect you as much emotionally, you have to kind of have a sense of, the word is detachment, maybe. You need to have that inner balance within, so that no matter if somebody is flattering you or being nasty because they can't deal with whatever emotion they're really feeling, you got to kind of be able to just kind of weigh it. I'm recording this as a voiceover, but for some reason I'm doing the balance scale with my hands, even though y'all can't see me. But we just have to remember, like I've been telling myself, my 30s, I will be taking ownership when someone communicates directly, when we talk it through. But I will not be taking responsibility for unspoken resentment, door slams, or weird off-putting energy, because I'm allowed to take up space too. And these days, for my well-being, I've learned that I need to welcome the motto that my peace is non-negotiable. If you've ever felt like someone's mood was trying to control the whole room, pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that you are not their emotional container. You have to protect your peace and keep showing up like you belong, because you do. You wouldn't be here on this earth if you didn't. If this resonated, let me know in the comments or share it with someone else who needs the reminder. Sometimes passive-aggressive behavior is just a mask for deeper feelings we don't want to admit. And envy is one of the most common. If this story about boundaries and negative emotions resonated with you, I dive even deeper into how envy shows up in our lives and how we can turn it into fuel for aligned action. Inside my ebook, From Envy to Aligned Action, you can grab your copy in the link below, and it's also in my bio, and start shifting out of comparison into true clarity today. Thanks for tuning in for more reflections on personal growth, intentional living, and life beyond the ordinary. Make sure to hit subscribe, and you can also follow along on the blog at brittneyMcTier.substack.com and join the Growth Inspired Tribe. It's a space where we are sharing grounded tools, deep insights, and good for the